Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the model railway YouTube world. Welcome back to the station. I hope you can hear me okay. Give me a big thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can see me, just let me know. So I've got the comments on, and if you can see it, if you can hear me, you know how it goes. Unfortunately, I'm down to only my iPhone at the moment because something happened in StreamYard that caused two of my cameras to drop out, and I haven't got them back up again. So we'll just have to play this one by ear. I'm going to turn this camera around and let you see what's happening round about the station. So I'm going to start out with a couple of shout outs. Oh, hi Digger, how are you? I hope you can hear me okay. So I'm going to start with a couple of shout outs today that I checked out during the week. One caught my eye today again, and that's Little Railways Unlimited. I don't know if you've checked the channel out, but it's worth having a look. There's lots of good channels out there. And another one is Choberton Junction. Now, after 40 years of a lapse from the squatting back in it, so yeah, check him out because he's doing some scratch building as well as running his trains, and certainly worth a visit. And it's always good to give additional support and help the guy grow his channel. And then some of you are familiar with Scott Rails. Now, Scottish guy, no question. He lives down in the Hamilton area. That's west of here by about an hour. And it's on the way to Niagara Falls. And Scott has got a nice layout built there in his basement. And I think his wife helps him with a lot of this stuff. But he models North American, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like to see the North American stuff, always very colourful and different. He visited a model train show just recently, and he picked up a whole bunch of bargains. Clive Cobold, I hope you are well, Clive. Good to see you on YouTube here with me. So, you know, check Scott out. Him and his wife have jumped into 3D printing, both filament and resin. And they've printed out a variety of stuff, some bungalows, some figures, and various other odds and ends that he's found available for download, at least the STL files for download, and he's been printing away. So it's always entertaining, so check him out. And one last shout out for the moment, and that's Padshaw Junction. Now he's got less than 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be great to help him out. Tom Houston, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, good evening over there, of course. It's raining here, long overdue. So I hope you're enjoying, or you've been enjoying some good weather. I'm not going to talk about my issues with the points because I think I've spoken enough about that, and I may be on the road to resolving that, and I'll be sending something over to Tom Houston to get his critique on it. Buckley Junction, good evening. Mark Hemel down, of course. Who else is there? Digger, of course. Anyway, as I said, we're just working with the one camera because the other two dropped off and I can't get them back on. So I'm not sure how long this will last, but we'll carry on regardless. We have a little problem there. Anyway, I'd just like to show you something I've been working on, and you can find it, or you will be able to find it on my site soon. Oh, there you go. So this here, if you can get a good look at it, it's railway ties that I've painted up and weathered. That's not the final spot, but it's a good indication of how it would look. I just put some scatter around it for effect for the moment, and I'll demonstrate a little bit what I did with that, how I got it. And there's been a bit more ground cover put in around the station. I'm working away at it, and you may have seen that on a short video. So I watch Boomer's dioramas. If you're not familiar with Boomer, I'd suggest that take a little bit of time, check out his videos. The guy is a master modeler. I've mentioned this before, master modeler, and he's got a background in TV and movies, and he knows all the tricks. He knows all the tricks and tips, and he's got this big, huge shelf layout, and it's unbelievable what he's done. So check him out. And this is where I got the idea. I mean, this is not my idea, but what I was going to do, I was going to take some of the Pico ties. Just give me a second here. So I was going to take some of the Pico ties like this, and I started cutting them up individually, and then I was going to try and cut off the clips, but it's a lot of work. So I watched Boomer, I think it was last week, and he demonstrated how you can make the ties from matchsticks. So I'd already bought these craft matchsticks from the dollar store for $1.75. Like a nice big bag of them. And I cut them up to the size to suit, same as the Pico track. And then I just layered different colours on. Onto this, and I started out with a kind of greyish colour, and then I added black and brown, and then did a little bit of dry brushing, and then added in the flock. As you can see, I put it on a bit of card to make it easier, but that's a simple thing to do, and you can certainly add that to your repertoire. And as I say, it's all thanks to Boomer. I doubt if they would watch my channel, but if anybody out there knows Boomer, you can tell them that Charlie demonstrated his tip and trick about making eyes. Yeah, I hope Clive's okay. Oh dear, Tom. Hope you're okay. I know what you mean. I've been there. Well, that's good, Clive, to do that. So everybody's saying hello and how are you and how's the weather, etc. And there's Sean. How are you, Sean? Newland Railways. Clive, how are you? You must be the postman's favourite customer. My wife used to say to me, how come you keep getting all those little packages? Well, you got me beat, Clive, that's for sure, 100%. So, and your roof is holding up, that's great. And you get the layout started. You had some nice North American trains there. Always nice to see. So, as I said before, I appreciate you dropping by because I know there's lots of competition out there, and it's a topic of discussion. I know that there's a sort of pseudo schedule that Mark over there in Donegal had made up, and I ended up with a Saturday because I posted on a couple of Saturdays, so that's why I'm in now. But it's about the time. I think Lee is on now at the same time. I think Lee's on every night. I'm sure he's got a huge following. He's always got something to say and something to show, and that's great. So by no means am I trying to interfere with the development of his YouTube show. I watch his as well, and he pops in here every now and again, and that's what it's all about. Share and share alike. So you may have seen my 3D printed oil drums. Amazing what you can do with a little bit of paint. And some of my old used luggage. And that SPT 156 is especially for Clive, because I know he likes that. So if you want to make some bushes, this is a 3M scouring pad, and just cut it up to the approximate size, flock to it, pull little bits out of it, and it would look perfect. In fact, there it's there at the station master's house. So it doesn't look out of place. And I rusted up some wheel sets, and they'll find a spot on the railway. That's an easy thing to do. Everybody should do some of those. And of course, you've all seen my corrugated fence. It's missing a couple of important letters out of there. I think you get the idea. Now, some of you may have seen my tutorial on how to make canvas or tarpaulins, and here is the one that I did last week. I did that little tutorial on it, and you can see it's got that shiny look, that it's got texture, and I stained it here, as you can see. Now, here's one I did originally. It's totally different because I gave that about 6 coats of paint, and it's got a whole different texture. It's like it's like the tarpaulin material. So 2 different styles. You decide, and easy to do, and you know, you can cut it to size to make tarpaulins for your wagons, or I've got a Clyde puffer that I'm working on, and you know, I can fold it up and tie it with some thread. But these are easy little things to do. Doesn't take a lot of skill, and everybody should be able to do that type of stuff. Charlie, H and HE Express Model N scale train starts his live streams with an update of stream days and times. Oh, okay, that's a very good idea, Tom. Then there's no confusion, and it's a case of just finding the spot that works for you. I'm glad to hear that. I'll certainly check it out. Well, as I said, it's raining here today, on and off. It rained overnight. It was 31 or 32 degrees yesterday. Very, very humid. And they had a heat warning, so I don't think it was out of the house. Thank God for air conditioning. Oh, and Tom was asking how many toilets I have. I'm not going to tell him, but I was able to resolve the issue with the toilets. I'll just give you a wee break at the moment over here. What happened with the toilets was that I would hear it running, and I'd go into the washroom and nothing was happening until I lifted the lid and I saw that the water had gone down to the top of the outlet. So I went into the manufacturer's site. I might have told you this, but I decided I'm going to fix this because they had sent me 4 seals. So I went at it with the first one, and on the back of the package, it tells you that on the little conical shape top, there's a nut, and you have to undo that nut, and that allows you to take this off, and then you can access the seal. Well, it was nothing like that. There was no nut at the top, and I thought, how am I going to get this open? Well, when I looked at this top cap piece, it had ribs on it, like 4 of them, and I was able to get my hand on it that way, lifted it, and put my other hand in underneath it, held onto the post, the screw, whatever you want to call it, and then I turned this, and I got it out, and that worked. Alan Reynolds, good evening, Alan. How are you? I saw you went on there at the weekend, I think. You were busy doing other things, but always good to see and hear from you, Alan. Anyway, back to the toilets. So, pulled out the existing O-ring, and I put the new one in, and it wouldn't go in properly, and I thought, that's strange. So I had a closer look, and there was a sort of locking ring that you had to unlock to slide in that O-ring, get it into position, and then lock it. Put the cap back on, all screwed up, get the chain on, turn the water back on, fill it up, and let it sit there. So I went away for 15 minutes, came back, perfect. So thanks to American Standard for sending me the seals. I'll be busy for a little while with them. So, that could have been $100, $150 if I had to call in the plumber. You can find out anything on YouTube, absolutely anything. If you've got a problem, search for it and see what it's like, and then try it yourself and see how it goes. Now, I'm just worried about this camera because of the cell phone. I don't want it dropping off, and right now I've got the earphones plugged into it, so I'm just going to check it to make sure that I'm not running out of power. Oh, I've got lots for the moment. Yeah, got lots. And that's a nice little 3D print. It's HO scale as it happens, but you wouldn't really know the difference unless you're an expert. So I'll get that painted up. Yeah, and that little pannier, I haven't been able to locate the frame that goes around there that would enable me to get the weight inside. I mean, it's sitting there perfectly just like that, and it runs great, but it does need a bit of weight. Now, I put some weights in here. I may end up adding additional weights rather than search for that additional frame. So there's the weights that I purchased. You get it at the automobile store, hardware store, CK Auto Steel, adhesive, wheel weights, lead free, perfect. And you know, that's the weight I believe for in here, but it just won't fit. Got to get it lifted up a bit. So Alan Reynolds, what have you been up to? I saw you sold, I don't know how many sold, but I know you sold a bridge to someone and the guy posted about it. That's excellent, Alan. Congratulations on that. I know you put a lot of effort into it, and it's nice to see you getting a return for your efforts. So there's my little Dock Authority number 3, and I've got a black number 5 somewhere. This one works okay, but you know, got to get rid of these wheels. Now, on the topic of those wheels and the topic of John Chambers, Chams 123, I reviewed the video that John made about that local, and he showed us the wheels that he had machined, and I got a couple of them for my EM2. Now, he also said that those locomotives after 1972, like the Class 37, I think the 31, and a couple of others, have the correct size flanges. So, you know, if you've got one of these little locos or any of those early Triang locos that have the large flange wheels, rather than getting the wheels machined, from what John says, you should be able to get wheels from locomotives after 1972. Now, I'm sure there's some of you out there that know more about it than I do. And unfortunately, I can't get a hold of John for him to explain further. Let's see here. I've been busy on the way out, says Alan. I've also been out in my camper van and motorcycle too. Wow, some of the shots of doing as much as I can before autumn comes. And that's great, Alan. Glad to hear it. And I saw you were out with a week. I've got, there's Newland, I've got another drivetrain to replace the Triang running gear and DCC reduction. So Clive, maybe expand on that when you're saying you're putting a whole new motor in there. And which one were you putting in there? So back to Jams 123, I've sent out a couple of different emails and I responded to a few of these videos and hope that you might see them. You know, I have his address in Nottingham. I should probably send him a letter. That way we'll know for sure that he's still in Nottingham. And, you know, there is a possibility that he packed up and went to Australia as he had suggested to me that he would do. You know, John has a lifelong friend. I think his name is Mervyn, and I think he was in business with John. One did speakers and one did tuners, or all the electrical stuff that they were into. So John was down in Australia visiting his friend a couple of years ago and made a couple of videos about purchases that he'd made while he was down there. Now I have his email address and I should try that again. I wasn't successful last time, but I'll try it just to make sure. Well, that's nice of you, Tom, to help out Clive if he needs it. It's always nice to have friends that you can turn to in a time of need. And, you know, it's like being in the Boys Brigade or the Scouts or something like that. You know, friends for life. And the community of model railway enthusiasts, I think, is somewhat the same. If I lived in the UK, I'd be busy all the time, popping over to see people. But that's not possible. Yeah, Alan, I'll need to get to the bottom of this and find out what's happening. So here's something else you might have seen. So this one I got the local as part of the Hornby Collectors Club, which was great, really terrific. But I decided it needed a little extra help with carrying some additional coal, just in case it had to go a little bit further. So I had an old frame and I took everything off it, and then I built this out of plastic card, and I scored it to make it look like wood. And I can't remember if they're matchsticks or they are squares of plastic card. And then, as you can see, I got the Dapol bicycle and painted it up, and it really looks the part. Now, I did have an engine man in there. It's probably fallen out, but that one, I need to cut that one back. The base is too big. Yeah, see. looks the part, he's about ready to fall off. But I think you know what I mean. It's always great to see crew in your local, right? It's like having people on a station. People are coming and going with luggage and bicycles and running to get into the subway to get to the other platform before the train arrives. Oh, that's interesting. Well, you know, talking about the DMU, I've got the old Triang green DMU around here somewhere, and it doesn't run very well. I got it running, cleaned it all up, got it running, but it's got those big wheels. You know, I'll need to find a lathe operator and pull off a bunch of those wheels from those old Triang ones and see if I can get the flanges machined down so that they'll go through points. Because you know, I've fidgeted around with the points that I have just to make sure that they're sitting flat and they're not jamming up somehow, and checking the gauges on my locos and then on wagons and coaches just to make sure that I've got all the bases covered, because very frustrating, especially when you're trying to do a broadcast. You know, when things don't work perfectly, I guess it's rather embarrassing. So I'm trying to avoid that. Now, I'm not sure how the sound is coming over, because it could be getting picked up by the cell phone, or it could be getting picked up by the laptop. Last week, I had my big MF, the Blue Yeti. I had that one hooked up. I don't think the sound was that good because I kind of stumbled over this. When I was setting up, now StreamYard gave me a message, and I don't know, you can tell me what you think, but StreamYard gave me a message saying, oh, you need to have the professional edition to add an additional camera in. But I pay $25 a month for the service. So I thought I'd be able to get a second camera in, but I'm not really clear on it anymore. So what I did was, I knew this workaround would be open up a second session of the same broadcast and add a camera in there. And that's what I did. And so half an hour before I went live, I had two cameras and the cell phone on here. And now all I've got is a cell phone. So I'm really not sure what caused it to crap out. There's Andy. How are you, Andy? So, yeah, you get the sound clear, or is it muffled, or is there an echo? I don't think there'd be an echo because I've got the earphones in the cell phone, but having two sessions running at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. What I can tell you about this it's not in perfect condition because one of the wires here had come loose from the MOSFET, but that's an easy fix, and so that one would work. This one is the one that's got the burnt out Z02, and that should be an easy fix to replace that diode. In fact, I might have the right one around here. I can do that. I'm not really sure, Tom. It's I'll try. No, I'll need to get the magnifying glass, Tom, and do that. But you've seen that. That's a nice little unit. As I said, it might have cost $5 or something, $8, can't remember. But forward, stop, reverse. So technology's brought model railways a long way. So Clive Newland, what did you get in the mail today? Yeah, well, I'll make sure I get the right one. I'll get the magnifying glass out, Tom, and check it. Yeah, it's just in a position I can't see it clearly, but no problem. I'll get the right one for that, and I will send you. I've got an email typed up for you, and I'll send it out to you. more Redland hoppers. So yeah, how many do you have now? Three new triple packs. Wow. So you must have a lot of storage room, like. I mean, do you have a plan to build a big layout? Is that the plan? Yeoman full rakes. So those baggage cars there, they're the Lima ones. 305353W. I think they're all the same number. That's a nice rake. So here's my EM2, and it's not running. For the most part, I had it cleaned up. There might just be a loose wire somewhere in there. But I'll have a go at it and see if I can get it running, because it's a nice local, and it might be the washer on top here. It has this type of nut, but then there's another little washer. It should be in there, I think. So that's another little project. So I think my tenement building looks pretty good there. The blue circle cement is it's a little bit out of place, because you wouldn't have that in the residential area, of course. But originally I had it over in this corner, and I was going to have a spur line coming off into it, but I changed my mind and I put that arrangement in there. But I might change that into something else. I'm not 100% sure yet. There's that low profile tenement building. The doors are a bit more modern than when I was growing up. They didn't have doors. Hey Clive, all the best. Thinking about you, wishing you a speedy recovery. Take care and keep us informed. (1,800 feet), wow. 3 levels. And possibly a helix, wow. It's a big undertaking. I look forward to seeing that developing. And so is the Queen Mother Assie's here. It's got couple of blue circle tankers, as you can see, one of them weathered. Have any of you tried that method that I did a few weeks back with the micron pens? I know Bigger said he was going to get himself some, I think. Because it's an easy way to do it, and of course using the pastel powders. I don't know if any of you have looked at my Instagram account. As I have, I do car sketches and different other things. So on the Instagram, some of the cars that I do, I will colour them using the pastel powders. So that's how I first got introduced to it. Was the ability to make the powder from the crayon. And then I thought, oh, okay, to do something else with it. So there's different methods of doing it. You can do it with a brush, or you can do it with a mixture of baby powder. It allows you to put it on smoothly. Depends on what effect you want. And then you'll fix it with an fixative spray. And then you're not going to pull the weathering off every time you lift it. So, or at least leave an imprint of your fingers. So if you don't mind weathering them, it's a done deal. And once you've weathered them, you're not going to unweather them if you've sprayed them with the fixative. Now there's Lee, High Model Train crew. Lee, how's it going? I thought you'd be live by now, or maybe your show is finished. What's happening at your end? I know you were building kits of sort. So what were you doing today? All right, Alan, we'll see you later, alligator. Yeah, the funny thing is, devices not connected. Well, the devices are connected, so who knows what that mystery is? They will need to connect their mic cam before you can add them to the screen. Oh, there you go. There you go, two views. Funny old world. One of them still to come on. No, and then out will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. So you take the day off today, out shopping. See, I'm getting an echo there, that's interesting. Shouldn't get any echo. Another one of life's great mysteries. And quick as a flash, it's gone again. There it's back. I know. Yeah. I've got the sound down. I've got the earplugs in there. And I've got it muted. Now, did that echo just start? Okay. So I muted the camera, but you can hear it. You should be able to see. Because the microphone is on for the laptop. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me? There is a bit of an echo, and it's coming from that cell phone. Sounds back to echo. Well, another one of life's little mysteries. But you see, I hear the echo here, so maybe it's just me. I don't know. And that is very annoying. Anyway, back to Champs 123. Does anyone live near Nottingham? Because the reason I was asking was when I spoke with him, I thought he was having cataract issues, and that's why he stopped doing his videos. So I'm not really sure what condition he's in. But if anybody lived around Nottingham, I'd be happy to send you his address. Now you're getting that feedback because I did it before. Not sure why that is. Maybe because there was a microphone on the cable for the earphones. It's always difficult to tell. Anyway, time's moving on, lads, and I've just struck the 1 hour mark. Well, from what I see on so I think the one microphone back on again, and that's from the camera. Yeah. So they say that the webcams don't have microphones, but I think they do. Otherwise, I shouldn't be getting any feedback or crossover. Yeah, so it's pretty weird. Anyway, I was just saying, I've just hit the 1 hour mark, and that's pretty good. And I should probably jump off and let somebody else on. But just here, one last little thing. I got this from the dollar store in a package. Just want to show you. So disposable jetables, it's called, for the ladies to do their eyes with, but perfect for getting into nooks and crannies. It's probably $1.50. But I don't know, they'll last forever. Anyway, I'll bid you all adieu, as they say, and hopefully you can hear me. Remember to give me the big thumbs up, because the funny thing is, you know, after last week's broadcast, I went into YouTube and there had been 20 people in YouTube, but there was only 3 or 4 here on the chat line. Anyway, I hope everybody stays well, keeps well, and yeah, try see what's happening with Clive. And if anybody's got any ideas on John Champs 1, 2, 3, let's know. Anyway, in the meantime, thanks very much for dropping by, because I know it's a big world out there. Anyway, take care. Bye for now.